Welcome back, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Thanks for coming back and hanging out with us. What y'all been up to? What's been going on in your lives?
First week back.
Oh,
for
yeah,
my new
clinical
term.
started. Yeah.
New clinicals, new mess,
Girl.
new day. If I didn't already prepay these people,
I
I
can't.
wouldn't go.
Like, I commend you.
Oh, I'm too
I
old for this
do it.
shit.
I couldn't
I'm
do it.
old for this.
My brain, like I'm telling you, I did one class for that master's program and I said, fuck this.
I've been fighting for my life since January. And
Girl, you sure
December
have.
can't come.
Will that be when you're done?
Mm-hmm. Look, I done already pre-bought my cap, my stole.
As you should.
And I'm finna buy my shoes and outfit. I said, because I'm claiming this. Like,
So where's graduation going to be?
I don't even know. Probably at the school.
Because I know you expect me to be there.
Of course I do.
So
you and Antonio.
I thought I was going to say Antonio. He don't know, but he going to find out. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I plan to be there too. Shoot, I ain't like that one friend I had that said that seems like a family event.
That's so fun. How you uninvite yourself? That's fucked up.
So fucked
If
up.
you uninvite yourself, I'd be real mad.
I literally was like, hey, I'm graduating. I need to let them know how many tickets, and I wanted to invite you. She's like, I feel like that's a family event. All right.
Well, fuck me too.
Well,
then.
fuck me up my ass.
No Vaseline.
No Vaseline. Straight raw. I said, damn, she just bent me all the way over.
You might as well slap me in my face.
Slap me around and call me Susie. But yeah. So what else been going on? So you got school. You'll be done in December, graduating.
Yes.
And this will be your BSN?
Mm-mm.
What's
LPN.
LPN.
And then after that, I'm going to finish my one class because, you know, I had to keep my financial aid. And if I finished that bachelor's, I wouldn't have got no more. So I stopped with one class.
WGU?
Yeah, I stopped with literally one class and one assignment left.
I was going to ask you. I said, you know what? Jade got a plan. I'm not about to ask her about that degree.
The moment.
And what will that degree be in?
Health and Human Services.
And that would be a bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then I'll go back for my BSc.
Okay.
Because a lot of my credits, because it's like in the same, it's kind of like social work, but it's a lot of nursing classes in there. Because even though it's Health and Human Services, it was still done under the School of Nursing.
Okay.
So a lot of my classes will be done. So I'll be already halfway done with the BSN before I even start.
Cool. Well, so you'll be done with both of them by what?
I plan by 2028. I want to be done with everything.
Okay.
That's my plan.
Girl, like I can't do it.
I like the WGU. It's the other school that's taking me there.
For me, it's just school in general. Here's my thing. If I'm going to school now, like I did my time with school for shit that I really didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend time learning something, it's going to be something that I am genuinely interested in.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. Now, the first time I went to school, I was BS around. I went to school because I was told I was supposed to, right? It's not really because I gave a damn.
Like
I genuinely did not give a damn. And it showed because I didn't go no more. Because I did not give a damn.
Yeah, that was me. I finished the accounting degree because, I finished my accounting degree, got the job, make the money. Now I'm like, I want to do my passion projects.
And we are at the age where this is what happens. That's why it's a lot of people our age, because they did their first career and they're like, yeah, no. And now they want to do something else. And that's where we're at. But I highly recommend nursing if you don't know what you want to do, because there's so much you can do. You could get that one degree and just be doing shit. So that's how I feel about that. There's nursing informatics.
That's how
and everything.
That's how I feel about the accounting degree too. I'm not doing anything accounting related. I haven't since I got that damn degree.
It looks nice on the paper.
It looks nice on paper though. It definitely does. Because when I was working at that as an analyst at that other job and found out that some of them people just had graphic design degrees,
and letting that go.
Nothing against the graphic designers. I loves me a graphic designer. I just didn't expect to see them there.
And an accounting firm, which makes sense.
So you could literally nowadays you can have a degree in any damn thing.
Well, the job, it'll even say bachelor's degree. It don't even say
it don't even say what special. It just says
nothing.
Just need a bachelor's.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
Maybe
that's
a little bit of work history. Maybe you could do some data entry, some Excel. That's all they
work your way up, climb that ladder.
And I don't want to.
I'm tired of climbing.
That's I'm like, I never.
My damn legs is tired.
I got 2 little steps on that thing and said, this is foolish.
Sure.
And jump right the fuck back down.
I made it up a good. I'm up. I'm, speaking of the ladder, I feel like every day I am like halfway up that ladder and I'm looking down, looking like, what the fuck have I done?
I told you I got 3-4 steps up and said, you know what? After that bitch lied on me and I almost got in trouble over some shit I didn't do, I said, you know what? Do you know what? Like,
girl,
I felt like a babysitter. And it was annoying me. I was like, you are old enough to be my fucking grandma. Why do I gotta tell you what to do? I don't like this shit. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I had to have a conversation with my staff last week about a mistake that she made that was like so obvious. And that could have been like really bad for the company. And I was just like, dude, it is not just you that this impacts. I said, I'm your manager. They are going to look at me regardless. You can't just be sending shit out.
They got to throw somebody under the bus.
And I can guarantee you it's going to be the mid-level manager.
It's not going to be you because they feel like that you supposed to be coming through me. You are a reflection of me, so I'm in trouble. You not in trouble.
And then they started saying, can you do this and send it to me? And I told her this week, I said, I can guarantee you this is going in both of our records. I said, this is why they're getting documentation. Let's not forget that.
Don't forget. Just because they don't formally label it, don't mean.
Exactly. I said, we are being documented for this.
I'm like, you got me documented. I didn't even get me documented.
Look, I don't mind getting in trouble. I really don't.
When it's me.
When it's something I did.
I don't want to get in trouble for what you did. That's why I said it was too much. I was like, let me find a way to make the same amount of money and not be. It was terrible. Why are you looking at that like that?
I didn't even know I was looking at it a certain way.
What happened?
I literally was just listening to you and reading what this said. And I guess I had a face. Oh. Maybe that's my issue. Do I have a... You know what? I ain't even about to ask because y'all be coming for me too much.
You like, I ain't saying shit.
Like, I know I have a resting bitch face. And I know it is strong. But apparently I also look like Boo Boo the Fool a lot of times too.
What you mean?
Because look... Have you ever had friends that just lie to your face and think you supposed to believe they bullshit?
Well, most liars lie to your face.
I mean, well, yeah.
But it's like, are you targeting me or is this an everybody thing? It's like, is this just you think that I'm dumb or do you think everyone is dumb? Because I need to know, because if you targeted me, why? Like, why do you think I believe you?
And I ain't gonna go too far into the stories just in case, some of these folks do watch this. But I've had multiple people this year lie to my face. And I don't say nothing because, that's your lie. I don't care. Personally, am I somebody to lie to? Hell no. I wouldn't risk my soul to lie to none of y'all. But if that's what you want to do, have at it, boo-boo. That ain't my sin to answer for. But I've had multiple people lie to my face. And I know it's a lie.
One of them lied to both of us.
And then...
in our face.
Then a couple months later, they tell me the truth. And when I go, I know.
I already knew.
They have this... How did you know? It's like... So you actually think I'm stupid.
She would have got kicked out of my house. I'm sorry. You ain't finna be in my house sipping on my wine, calling me a fucking idiot to my face. Like, you knew that stupid lie?
I was just like,
I gave you facts about it. The thing is, like, I really think it's not so much of them thinking you're stupid as much as them being stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
it's
can see
just
that.
because they think it's believable. So they think that you should believe it. But again, you
A lot
should
of people just, I think a
know
lot of people do think that if you don't call it out as a lie,
that you
they
don't
think you
know.
believe it. And I'm just like,
No, you weren't worth calling out. It sounds
I just
harsh,
don't think
but
it's, yeah, I'm like,
it,
that is my genuine thought about it. If you want to lie about something, I'm going to let you all day long. Until your lies directly impact me, lie all you want, boo boo. I don't recommend it. The Bible doesn't recommend it. But if that's what you want to do, who am I to stop you?
But my thing is when the lies just make no sense, yet they don't back down. And you're like, okay, we've reached a point where we both should acknowledge that this is foolish. And they still, and I'm like, now I got it. But then I'm the bad guy if I call you out
You sure
and
are.
be like, I know that ain't true. And then they're like, oh, now
Well,
you
how
don't
dare
believe
you?
me.
How do you know
Oh,
this is not true? Prove that it's not true. Like, girl, look, I ain't got time.
I don't
I'm
live
gonna
in
let
your
you go ahead
skin.
and lie.
But 1 + 1 always equal 2.
Last I checked. But I was just like, I don't have time to be calling all of my friends out for the lies that they tell.
You so damn shady.
Look,
You funny.
it was the audacity.
I'm not gonna lie, it caught me off guard when you told me. I said, not surprised.
It was the surprise. I didn't give a fuck about the lie.
Yeah, it would have been a surprise for me too. Like, get out my motherfucking house. Thinking that I fell for that shit.
Not even just that though. It was also the person that was like, oh yeah, my car got repoed and that was brand new to me. Didn't know that was happening.
But my thing is,
I know how repos work.
This person knows that we both were poor enough at one time.
Man, do you
know?
Look, let me tell you.
To know the process of a repo. So it's
if
like,
anybody knows who JD Byrider is,
are they closed down now?
I have no idea.
They should be.
I have no idea. But
hope somebody sued their ass to oblivion. I hope they did.
My first car was a JD Byrider car.
And we know they got soon as you
was it buy here, pay here? It was first of all, this was in 2010. No. It was 2011 when I got this damn car. It was a 2001 Buick LeSabre.
No, they do be holding
fucking boat.
They do be holding on. My mom had one. It was a gold one.
Mine was champagne color.
Mm.
And it wasn't even mine. I was the damn co-signer on it. My stupid ass. The 6-year mistake was the main one on that damn loan and didn't pay not a goddamn note on it. I paid that damn note. As a pharmacy tech, making like $11.25 an hour at that time.
And you know, JD Byrider be high.
That car payment was, I feel like $400 and some a month.
For 2011 was a lot of damn money.
That was a 2001.
You know what I'm saying? In 2011.
10 years old.
Because that was back then when you get a brand new car for $275 if you knew how to play your cards right.
And
that was back then.
And I didn't know how to play my cards. Look, if you play your cards right. Didn't know how to play it. Didn't know how to play it. And so I'm in this, me and a 6-year mistake, buy this 2001 Buick LeSabre from JD Byrider. And that car, like I said, note was $400 and some a month.
Crazy.
Now, granted, we had to pay bi-weekly on it because it is a buy here, pay here place.
Yeah,
and they typically do the
every
bi-weekly
time you
payments.
get paid, you pay them.
Now, remember, I'm making $11.25 an hour as a pharmacy tech. I also have over $700 that I need to pay for rent every month. On top of utilities, because again, the 6-year mistake ain't giving me shit.
That's crazy.
So if y'all have watched this, I hope that I'm giving y'all a good understanding of why he is referred to as the 6-year mistake. And I also know that also tells you how stupid I was because it was 6 fucking years.
I'm glad I'm selfish.
But that car, I had to have conversation on top of conversation on top of conversation with them people at the damn lending place because I was constantly late on that car note.
Well, yeah.
This is how I know when her ass told me that she didn't know shit about her damn car being repoed.
First of all, one, they call you like, hey, did you forget? It starts off friendly.
It does.
And then it escalates to,
all right,
now,
bitch.
You know this.
You're playing with your transportation.
And then they like, okay, bitch. And then they start trying to negotiate with you. And then they reach the, well, if you give us $900, we won't.
And then if you won't do that, then they're going to start reaching out to your employer. Because now they're about to start garnishing your shit.
And that's when you call them and arrange to meet them somewhere.
Literally.
Because you don't want to
surrender that goddamn car.
Have you? Because I know this one girl.
I've never surrendered one before.
This one girl, they got her. She went somewhere. She came out. They took that motherfucker.
I ain't even surprised. They
took it.
Look.
They took
Here's the thing. Here's the kicker about JD Byrider. And it's not even JD Byrider. It was whoever the lender was. Whoever was assigned to my case, that woman felt sorry for me.
That's messed up. Because you know that's how criminals often, at JD.
That's how often I was on the phone with these people. And when it finally got to a head and I had to take that car back from the 6-year mistake when he thought he was going to take it back to Chicago, not take it back to Chicago, but take it to Chicago.
I would have lost my shit like, I know you not. Not the car I've been paying for. No, you not.
And let me tell y'all, that car, it gave me such headaches.
Of course it did.
First of all, if it hit one bump, that thing, you would have swore hydraulics was in that bitch. It just kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. Felt like I was on the fucking boat. And the shocks were just done.
Well, yeah.
Done. It's like, we ain't got those no more. I don't even know what it is. I go to work one morning and I needed to stop at the bank, likely to get some money out the bank that I didn't fucking have. Soon as I pulled up to that damn bank, in the damn drive-thru, this is before the bank even opens, thank God, because I would have been embarrassed as fuck. That fucking car starts smoking.
Don't you hate that?
And I'm telling you, at that point, I had done already blew a couple tires because it was when we had that really bad storm here and all the roads were iced over and they were like little craters.
Yeah.
I done had to replace tires at least twice. And if
it was already flat and you hit one of them,
yep, that's what kept happening to me. And I don't have money to keep replacing these damn tires. So that was on my mind. I'm also, like I said, struggling. And I get to that bank and that damn car starts smoking. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I damn near sat in that damn ATM drive-thru and cried.
We've all been there.
And then I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw automotive repair shop directly behind the bank. And they just so happened to be open. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna take it over there, have them look at it. Because I'm like, I'm just praying to God, like, please don't let this be like something super serious. Because I really don't have money to pay to get this car fixed. And it was literally right across the street from my job when I was working at the pharmacy. So I dropped the car off, walked across the street, started working. I swear to you, it felt like not even an hour passed before they called me and was like, come get your car.
Don't you hate to come get your piece of shit call? They're like, we ain't fixing a goddamn.
I said, what's going on? They said, we tried to pull your car up so that we could look under it, and the wheels are quite literally falling off.
Damn.
How
humbling.
I said, this can't be my life. I can't keep living like this. I said, I need to get out of this car. I hate this fucking car. And I said, tow it to Ray Skillman down the street. I said, I am not getting back in that car today. Tow it to Ray Skillman. And they did. And I had somebody at work drop me off. So I had to wait there until the pharmacy closed because I was there for opening. So I had to wait till it closed at like 6 p.m. and have somebody drop me off at Ray Skillman. I ended up in a because by now it's 2014. And I think it was a 2012 Hyundai Sonata.
Ain't much newer.
That thing was nice. But the payment was like $500-$600 a month because my credit was also terrible. $500-$600 a month. And I'm living with my brother at that time. And he sees that car, he says,
that look nice.
He said, yeah, it's all right. Then I go to work like a week or two later, and the director for the pharmacy come in and said, hey, so we closing this pharmacy. And I see what's going on.
I'm like, God, if you hate me, just say it.
I was like, now I'm losing my job.
And I know your brother was like, take that goddamn car back. You're like, no.
I really liked that car too. And what's even worse was like, because I typically don't like these cars, but it was also a red car. And I really liked that car. I don't typically like red cars. But yeah, so they tell us they closing the pharmacy. And I'm like, I just fucking bought this car. I could barely afford it with this fucking job.
They barely gave me the car.
Damn sure ain't gonna be able to afford it now. So I go to my brother and I said, I don't know what to do about this car because there's no way I can afford this payment. He said, well, take it back. I said, will they let me? He was like,
you just got it.
He said, yeah, you just got it. Take it back. So I take the car.
Walk of shame.
I go into this dealership and I think I ended up talking to the same damn salesperson. And I was like, I need to return this car. And he's like, and do what with it? And I was just like, I want y'all to take it back.
But y'all just told me they closed.
And he looking like, that's not quite how this works. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to you to get you to understand that I can't leave here with this car in that payment. And he was like, okay, well, let's look and see what your options are. Because again, my credit is terrible. I don't have many options. They showed me two cars. One was a Honda Fit, which I actually liked.
Those are kind of cute.
I was like, oh, okay, I could fucks with this. And the other was a Ford Fiesta, which I was like, oh, I don't really want that, whatever. But then he was like, those are your two options. Those are what we can put you in for where you are. And I was just like, okay. And then he starts telling me about the Honda Fit. And he was like, the Fit is a stick. I said, well, then Honda Fit is out. I can't drive a stick. I just learned how to drive an automatic. Like, come on now. I literally had just got my actual driver's license that year. And I said, well, Ford Fiesta it is, I guess, you know. So I get the Ford Fiesta. Take it back to my brother's house. My brother drives. He's like, hey, it drives pretty well. And I'm just like, oh, I don't.
Better than nothing. Then.
Yeah, as long as I got a way to get somewhere, because I got job interviews to go on. Apparently, have that for 2 weeks, and I'm going to scope out the place where I'm gonna be going on a job interview. And me and my sister-in-law. We coming back from the hospital where I was going to be doing the interview at the next Monday. This is like that Friday or Saturday or something like that. It had to be Saturday because everything was closed that day. We on our way back, get on the highway, and you know, the acceleration lane, which a lot of people act like they don't know it's a fucking acceleration lane. Fucking accelerate.
First of all, the lane is supposed to be for you to pass by, not stay in the lane.
That too. But nothing pisses me off more is when people is on the acceleration, and going slow. Accelerate!
I don't think they know. I'm really starting to think. No, because people say crazy. Like this one man was like, oh yeah, you ain't got to put a turning signal on unless you within 60 feet of them. Who the fuck told you that? Who told you that? What book told you that?
Literally, when me and Nate was on our way to the cabins, I told him, I said, so you just don't believe in using your turn signal or something?
I hate people like that. Because then it's like no one's following you. No one gives a fuck where you going.
No one gives a fuck.
Two, the turning signal is so that I can be prepared to slow down my car so we don't collide. I don't give a fuck where you're going. And then I hate the people that put it on as they turning. Bitch, I don't need it.
It's too late now.
More.
I know what the fuck you're doing.
I done already almost hit your stupid ass. I don't need it no more.
But people,
I'm like, cut it on. So then I go, oh, they're about to slow down, so I should slow down. They're about to. No,
and people be like, I don't need people knowing where.
They don't care.
First of all, you think too much of yourself. Don't nobody give a fuck where you going.
Because I'm like, who are you, Jason Bourne, bitch? Like no one cares.
Who you think you are, Barack Obama? Don't nobody care where you going. I'm trying to protect my life here.
Let me tell you, this one man, I guess he thought I was following them.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Girl, why? Because I'm not going to lie. Now, we were going the same way for a while, but I swear I wasn't following this man. Girl, why he pulled over, put his hazards on so I can get in front of him.
I ain't gonna lie, I've done that before too. Especially if somebody pull up in my housing condition with me, I'll go straight past my house. Act like I don't know where the fuck I am.
I do that when I come here too. I do it.
But yeah, so we get on the highway in the acceleration lane. And I'm telling you, Jay, I had that fucking pedal to the damn metal.
I know how you drive.
I couldn't. It wouldn't go anywhere. My sister-in-law even was like, hey, you might want to speed up. And I said, dude, I literally have this pedal on the floor. It's not doing anything. And so the car just keeps going slower and slower and slower. And then it comes to a stop right on the shoulder. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this car? So, have it told to Ray Skillman Ford in Greenwood. And I called them because my brother's like, oh yeah, call them, let them give you a loaner so that you can get to your interview, blah, blah, blah. Everything's all good. Because they got jobs. They can't take me.
Yeah.
And I called Ray Skillman. Started talking to them because also this is a Saturday in Indianapolis. Everything is fucking closed on the weekend. So
if
I had
it's a business,
yep.
It's closed.
I had to wait till Monday to call them, and they like, we don't do loaners.
Huh?
I said, but
I just got this car 2 weeks ago.
Literally, they're like, nah, So I had to call Ray Skillman Buick, which is where I got the car from, and they was like, they told you that? And I was like, yes, they told me they won't give me a loaner. They said, well, come here and we'll give you a loaner. And I was like, thank you. I was like, thank God. Because I was like, I didn't know how I was going to make it to this interview. And I need to start interviewing. And so the only way I was really having communication with anybody was Buick Ford Ray Skillman Ford wouldn't tell me shit. I kept having to go through Ray Skillman Buick to go to Ray Skillman Ford and then deliver messages to me.
That's weird.
It was so fucking annoying. And turns out the engine died on the car.
Well, then they got to give you a new car.
No, they don't.
Well, Indiana got limit laws.
Yeah, if you can prove it.
Yeah, I think the motherfucker not working 2 weeks after you bought it is enough proof.
But I have to prove that they knowingly knew that something was going on with it.
They knew good and fucking well.
But good luck proving that they knew.
Because they cover up well.
So, they like, yeah, your engine's bad. But this was a 2011 Ford. And this was 2014. So they like, but you're still within warranty. So we'll replace your engine at no charge.
Great.
I said, thank you, Jesus. I needed this win.
Give me a win, please.
I needed this win. Lord, thank you. And then when I finally got the car back, like a month later, my brother was like, it's almost like you got a new car now. He's like, your odometer says 20,000 miles on it, but this engine has 0 miles on it.
True.
I said, silver lining, I guess. But I would still have rather not gone through what I went through.
Luckily, you weren't on your way to the interview. We've been there.
Girl,
we've all been there.
I'm telling you, but like I told you earlier, between 2011 and 2014, it was a hard time for Jocelyn. It was a hard time. I was struggling.
See, I didn't have financial struggles.
I had them up the wazoo.
Other bullshit.
Well,
That is the same time period where I tried to divorce.
oh yeah, you had to go find him looking for Victor.
I had to put an ad out in the newspaper.
Did you really?
They make you. So if you try to get divorced from someone you're estranged from, to prove you have tried to contact them, you have to put an ad out in your local paper or the paper in which you
air
think,
out.
yo, dirty motherfucker. Mona, you should have kept the paper. I ain't keeping that motherfucking paper.
Why would you keep that?
Not a keepsake.
Keepsake. Talking about keepsake.
That's not a memento.
Like, I don't want to remember that
But
shit, especially since y'all back together. And I'd be like, Victor, remember this paper?
Not funny. But anywho, so I had to put out an ad on the paper like, hey, looking for you, bitch. But
and I bet Victor was looking in there, and I bet you won't find me.
Nigga don't read the newspaper. But I still had to do it. And then, oh, girl, it took me forever. I had to find him. He disappeared. Had to have an ad on the paper. Had to serve him. And then mind you, I had to pay for the whole divorce because he Catholic and he don't believe in divorce. Verbatim words. And then, but the whole time, he's refusing to divorce me. He talking about how he still loves me. Negro, please.
There's a lot of people that get divorced that still love each other.
Sign these papers. He said, catch me if you can, bitch.
Sometimes love ain't enough. Sometimes love just ain't enough.
And then I said, no, we have broken up. We have both moved on. You got a child. That broke bitch ain't coming to me for child support, which she legally can if we still married.
True.
I think not. I said, that broke bitch ain't getting $1 for me. And so that's why I really wanted the divorce. I said, that broke hussy ain't getting... Because I wasn't doing bad. I was like, she ain't getting $1 from me. But yeah, then, so we did that. I had to set up everything on my own. Had to pay for it on my own. Had to file all that paperwork. Had to show up to court. I had to pay to get my own last name back. I had to go to court and pay to get my own last name back. And that's why I didn't change it again. It wasn't to be spiteful. It just was like, I literally had to go to court and pay to get my last name back. And that's my last name now. I'm sorry.
And that is exactly why I've decided if I ever do get me, I am just not changing my name. Ooh, girl, you know what? Better yet, if your name is last name is Alexander, and you are interested, hit me up. Actually, don't, because I ain't gonna be right to you. But I would rather just marry somebody with the last name Alexander and be done with it.
Or just not even change yours at all. You could just do that.
I could do that too, but just in case they want they right to have they last name, then I need to find somebody with the last name Alexander, because I ain't trying to be up there trying to change names and shit.
Just politely decline.
What's wrong with words for you today?
What is this? Scrabble? Like, I don't know. Just making shit up as I do in Scrabble.
I can't recall ever playing Scrabble.
Girl, I just be making up shit.
Like, I'm not a wordsmith like that, if y'all can't tell. I use way too many curse words, which we do need to get a handle on, especially
I think we've been doing better.
Girl, you and your denial. Because we have not. We curse so fucking much.
I'm told I curse like a sailor. I don't think I do.
I've always been told I curse like a sailor.
I don't feel like I do.
I just don't care.
But I genuinely don't feel like I do.
Jade.
Like, I don't.
Jade.
What am I saying?
All the cuss words. You will pull out some of the craziest words and say them, Jade. Like, no. You curse a lot.
I don't feel like that.
When I be listening back to these episodes, I'm like, now where the fuck she find that word at?
Girl, what you mean? Give me an example.
I can't think of that off the.
But I will say sometimes I rewatch them and I go, I don't recall saying that.
Oh, I always do that. I'll watch episodes back and I'll be like, we didn't talk about this because I don't remember that. We could have went more in detail on that. But yeah.
Don't remember. Well, our conversations aren't scripted, so.
Which makes it easy to forget.
We'll forget what we said.
People will bring up stuff we said. I'll be like, oh, we said that? I don't remember. Which episode?
There's a lot of them.
It is a lot of them. What's even crazier is because we got our friend in our Discord that y'all still ain't joining, and I don't understand why, even though that's kind of on me, but I'm still going to,
she found it.
We friends, so I I can place blame on y'all.
Sure can. That's what friends do. I blame Jocelyn for stuff all the time.
That's what friends are for.
Blame.
The good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore.
You don't even know what you're singing.
The Whitney Houston song?
Mm-mm.
That's what friends are for. We sang it in elementary school.
Girl, we ain't sing that mess.
Girl, we was singing everything.
That's not a Whitney song my mama was playing.
I think I only know it because it was they had us singing
She had
in
much better hits.
auditorium. Way better hits. Cause I wanna dance with somebody. That's my shit.
I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Oh, Whitney.
Oh, I
Gone
miss
too
Whitney.
soon.
Gone way too soon.
Gone too soon.
Moment of silence. Her and Aaliyah.
Gone too soon.
Way too soon. I miss Aaliyah. And I ain't even know that woman.
So we miss like we know. You know what? My
I
mother
need a
felt the same
revolution.
way about Luther Vandross. When I say the devastation.
And the house is not a home when the two of us are far apart and one of us has a broken heart.
Oh, Luther was saying it.
I love Luther.
Listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He making me cry though.
He do just like Yolanda. Yolanda be making me mad sometimes. I'm like, I didn't want to cry today.
It's just
me and you. Oh, I love Yolanda Adams. That woman, like, I wish I could meet her.
Every
Her
time
tall behind.
Boy. Who start the song off like that?
Somebody that wants you to be in your feelings.
So she, alone in a room.
I said, you ain't even have to do that, Yolanda. It wasn't even that deep.
Boy, if I want to cry, I go, I know what I'm about to do.
So, you know what?
I know what I'm about
When
to do.
was the last time that you just was like, I just need a good cry?
Girl, this week.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Because you have people in the house with you. So what do you do when you just need a good cry?
My car is my alone time. It's the only place I'm truly alone in this piece. And luckily now I got tinted windows. So I really can be alone. Because, I was in that tracks in that little fishbowl, as Monet calls it. She was like,
your sister. Okay, Monet. This is a message to Monet. Get your behind on this show.
She don't want to. She's shy. So she says. Monet is not shy. She
just
says
with new people.
She's shy. I'm like, girl, you already got makeup and stuff on.
Yeah, you could be the pretty one.
Monet is always well dressed and groomed. Come on, girl, you
not
ready?
Not me.
Eyebrows
what you see is what you get.
That's just her. She's always been. Her nickname we've grown up was Queenie. She's always been this way.
But what was your needed a cry moment?
A
time where you knew you needed a good cry.
Sometimes I just feel like it. So you just be in the mood.
And that's what I'm like.
Nothing sad is going on.
Here's the question, y'all. Genuine question. When was the last time you just sat and you just cried? It wasn't necessarily because something bad happened to you. It was just because sometimes you just need that release. And sometimes a good cry just gives that to you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you watch a movie, like me, a good movie. If I really want to cry, For Colored Girls, if you really want to be sad, pull out For Colored Girls.
See, for me,
pull out Precious. Oh, that's so sad.
For me, a good cry, I don't need to watch something sad. That's when I'll usually pull out my gospel.
Well, no, in the car is gospel. Or I'll be sitting there.
See, you have to go to the car, but it's easier for me because I live alone.
Yeah, I have to go.
So I just I just literally stand in the middle of my living room, just swaying back and forth, crying.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be a good cry. Like I listen to gospel music, I'm like, you ain't how you doing?
Like, thank you for bringing me here.
You got me crying.
Like literally, when I when I need a good cry, it's usually because I've sat down and I've been thinking about where my life was at one point and where it is now. And I'm just like, God, Jocelyn, like there were days where I really just didn't know how I was going to eat, what I was going to eat, how I was going to pay rent, like how I was going to do anything that required money that I just didn't have. And now I'm like, you are not that person anymore. You've grown so much. And I'm just like, and some days I just find that to be so freaking amazing. And not to toot my own horn, I would feel the same way if you told me that was your story. You know what I mean?
See, mine is emotional though. So I always felt like it was emotional things I needed.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, I got all that shit. Did I act like I was so deprived? Well, not act like a bitch was deprived of. And I was like, wow. I was like, and I still ain't shit and still got it anyway.
And I just be like,
wow.
I just be thinking about it and I be like, God didn't have to do none
But
of that
he
for
did.
me. But he did. And I be like, I'm so thankful for that. And that's when I turn on the gospel. And then I feel like, honestly, truthfully, and I know we have some people that apparently listen to this and don't really believe in God. And that's your right.
That's your business.
But I believes in God. And I'm telling you, most of the time, every time I turn on gospel, I can feel God just talking in my ear.
Do you listen to Jacqueline Carr Is Yours?
It sounds familiar.
You should listen to that one. It is.
I'm telling you, Yolanda Adams, the battle is not yours. By the time, because I love to sing that song, but I can never make it to the end. When I was younger, I used to be able to sing that song with no problem. But that's because I didn't get my ass beat. But now that I've had my ass beat a few times, those words hit different. And by the end of that song, I'm trying to sing. And I'm just like, thank you, Jesus, for bringing me to where I am, because I'm telling you, Jade,
tough, man. Times were tough.
There were days where I never was that person that was just like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. But it was always
I didn't want to be in that situation. I said, I'm sick of this situation. I'm not sick of life per se. I'm just sick of this.
And it was just some days I was just like, I just don't know how to get out of it. And I'm telling you, soon as I dropped that relationship, it was, when I dropped that relationship, things started changing almost instantly for me.
Because that was the dead weight you was
that was the thing that, and this is why I tell people all the time. I literally just had this conversation with somebody last week. I said, this is why I've learned to just listen to what God is telling me. Because every time every time he gives me a sign that I should be doing something, and then I be like, nah, that's when I start to struggle.
See, the good and the bad thing is he gives us free will. Mm-hmm. And this is what be messed up, because we'll be listening. And then it's like, well, and then you be sitting there like, nah, I know good and well.
I know good and well.
I knew I shouldn't have did it, and I did it anyway. And now I'm sitting here
struggling.
I'm like, well, good thing I get forgiveness, because here I go again asking for it. As per usual.
All you got to do is listen.
Well, I learned my lesson. I just listen now. And that's why people, because you know how I leave a job in a minute, right?
In a second.
And I'm like, if something in my spirit go leave, baby, I don't care if that spirit say leave at literally 11:42 in the middle of the day. I will pack my things and leave.
That you don't care if the spirit tell you to leave while you on your way to the car going home from said job. Because I have seen this woman do it.
So yeah, I come back.
This woman has been on the phone with me on her way home, leaving the job, and said, you know what, I might not come back on Monday.
And I don't.
And then don't.
And the thing is not I'm being flaky. So then my spirit say go, and I leave, and I have never sat there and be like, you know what, I sure wish I stayed at that place. I left.
I mean, that's the whole reason we have this podcast. Like, I had talked about doing a podcast, and Nate doesn't believe me, but I have talked about doing a podcast since friend. Barely.
Whatever.
I have talked about doing a podcast with various friends. since at least like 2012, 2013. Because I know me and my old friend Tasha had talked about doing a podcast. We was going to call it Shooting the Shit.
That's cute.
It was literally going to be the same thing. It's just shooting the shit because that's all we doing. I mean, essentially what we doing. But I talked with Nate about doing a podcast. That was going to be murder mystery type of shit.
That's fun.
Not for me. He likes that shit. I don't care about it.
Girl, it's so interesting.
Not to me.
I don't know how.
It used to be. I'm just
People
not there
are
anymore.
Nuts.
Yes, they are. That's also why it's not interesting to me anymore, because people are nuts. I'm like, you're so nuts, it's scary.
The thing is.
So, but yeah, like I've talked about doing the podcast and I just kept ignoring. Nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, or I want to do it, but nah, I'm waiting for this time. And then what started happening? I started getting my ass kicked even more, gaining experiences to be able to talk about on the fucking podcast. Lost a bunch of friends, including the initial one I talked about doing a podcast with. And I'm like,
well, dang.
Yeah. And I was just like, something in my soul. Now, granted, we don't talk about deep shit on here all the time, but that's not what it's meant to be for. This podcast is meant to be creating a friend circle. No, this is not a podcast about friendship.
We talk about it.
We talk about it a lot, sure, but it's not a podcast about friendship. It is a podcast for the people that are lacking friendships, that crave that connection, that they can come in and just listen to us, join our conversations, and like develop that virtual friendship, that virtual connection.
We're a little community.
Literally.
Little tribe.
That's all it's supposed, not that's all, because that's a lot, but that's what my spirit was telling me to do. You know what I mean? And I'm just happy you agreed to do it. Because it was like it'd be different if it's just me. Like,
well, it's not a community.
Yeah, it's just like
you talking.
This bitch just on here talking to herself. But yeah, like this is like a girl's perspective is supposed to be something bigger than just, oh yeah, it's just Jade and Jocelyn talking.
Mind you, we are funny.
I think I'm hilarious.
I think we have a good time.
A good hearty har.
Well, that's why we did. We said, we funny.
I'm funny.
We have a good time.
And I got something to say.
Let's record it. I hope it don't go south.
I mean, at that point, even if it did, don't nobody know us.
Well, for one, I still don't think I cursed that much.
Jay, you gonna have to.
No, I listened back to these episodes.
Jay.
And I'm shocked. And
there are some episodes where you are clearly the winner in the cursing realm.
And I'm glad we stopped that counter. Because that was a mess.
Yeah, at one point did say we was going to count every time.
Because we did privately. Luckily, we didn't put it on that screen. But it was a mess. That number was high. I said, ain't no way.
Girl.
No
what was it?
way.
There was one time, because what I used to do, I don't have to do it now because the editing software does it for me. But so when I get the edited episodes from the editor, I run it through another editing software so that it can transcribe it for me. And it does its thing, it transcribes it. And then I would look for the main four: ass, fuck, bitch, and shit. I would look for those.
No.
And this wasn't just Jay. It was just for the whole episode.
Yeah, it still was a high number. It was a high number.
It was in the hundreds.
It was bad.
That we cursed.
And I said, ain't no way.
And I was like, the way.
Yeah.
Like, we cursed hundreds of times.
And I'm trying to remember, what did we even talk about that episode?
And bitch is her word.
That is.
Fuck is mine. Because
like
I love saying the fuck.
I'm like too short. Bitch is mine. I love it. What's my favorite word?
Bitch. Oh, my mama gonna love that one. She love us some too short.
I wish I wasn't that way. My mama didn't raise me this way. I swear
my mama didn't raise me this way either. So please don't blame my parents. That's the other thing.
Oh my God.
Let's touch on that real quick. Because
golly.
What do you think about when somebody does something wrong and they be like, well, he wasn't raised right? Don't blame their parents for that shit. Because a lot of these people were raised right. Once people become an adult, they do whatever the fuck they want.
But I will say,
right or wrong.
I will say though, some of it is, but you you can tell when it's a lack of good upbringing
Mm-hmm.
versus just not having morale.
Because
Because I'll say, like, even some of my family members, I know they family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always one person. They can have 8, 9 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, and the rest of them are fine, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always one little demented little spirit.
Yes, I agree.
In there that ruins the whole family track record. And they like, where'd you come from and why you just got
But they were still raised right.
They were.
And
but you can tell because when they're a bad apple, everything they do is bad. It's not sometimey. It's everything they do is bad. And they don't feel bad because they don't think it's bad. I can tell when it's, just them because they don't feel bad. It's when they feel bad or shame or regret. You did have good upbringing. You just decided to be a little demon spirit and you knew better.
Exactly. So
you
I'm like,
knew
so
better
don't
and you
talking
didn't
about
do
blame
better.
blame the parents.
Sometimes it's not the parents because sometimes the shit these kids
I think
do,
more often than not it's not the parents.
No, because sometimes
especially once they become adults, like
even while they're still
right from wrong.
Even while they're still children, you be like, now your mama didn't teach you that shit because I know they embarrassed the fuck out of me.
My mama didn't teach me to cuss like a damn sailor.
My mama didn't even cuss. That's what makes this.
You look. If we wanted to get scared, my mama would start cussing. Like my mama didn't just throw out cuss words all willy nilly.
My mom didn't even cuss. Like
when she would cuss, you knew she was you done
serious.
pissed her off.
My mom saying if she said cuss, I'm like, oh, we in trouble.
All right,
now.
well let me
let's go somewhere.
I'm gonna go ahead and back up.
This is where I run Christina. Run Christina house.
I couldn't do that. I remember one time my mama called me after I snuck out the house and one of my friends was supposed to stay over too. And my mama is a firm believer. I'm going to get your ass. I don't care who over here. But thank God she had some mercy for me that day because, so there's this street called Fillmore in Chicago where some friends that weren't great influences used to hang out. And I snuck out the house with one of my friends that was supposed to stay at my house that night. And we went on Fillmore, hanging out, doing what
trying to be in the scene
people that ain't even in high school do. And my mama wasn't at home from work yet. And we was like, oh, we'll be back before she get home.
She won't know.
I get there. First of all, I saw my mama's car sitting outside.
So you knew.
I knew she was there. But I was like, maybe I could say like I was, here or there or whatever.
Maybe we went to the store, whatever.
Maybe we was just behind the school because I literally lived directly across the street from my school. And I had my key in the damn key holder to open the door. She opened the damn door. Yeah. I said, oh shit. Oh shit. Now. My brain just instantly went, I don't know what she about to open this door and meet me with, but please don't whip my ass in front of my friend.
Please, not in public.
Please don't whip my ass, especially in the hallway of my apartment. Please don't whip my ass. But I knew I deserved it, even if she did. But she didn't. She did yell at me a bit. And me and my friend were scared. But I just remember, and I think I did get put on punishment or something like that, if I remember correctly, but I didn't get a whooping.
She spared you.
She did spare me. But I would have definitely. That's why I tell people all the time. When I talk about the whoopings that I got on here, I ain't saying my mama was a bad mother. I'm not saying that I disagree. I earned every damn ass whooping I got. Every last. I was a good kid, but I was a sneaky kid. I just wanted to see what I could get away with.
And why?
Because why do sneaky people do anything that they do?
Because I don't want to see. They already told me what I can't do. They already told me.
They told me I wanted to see if I could. And
it ain't a surprise. I said, I already know what
and a lot of times it just didn't work out in my favor. And
she already told.
And when it did work in my favor, it wasn't because I got away with it. It's probably because she was just tired and didn't feel like whooping my ass. But I can guarantee y'all, I earned all of those whoopings. And I can guarantee you, if she didn't whoop my ass, I would have turned out to be a completely different person. Sure, say that it's, I'm trauma bonded, whatever, however y'all want to word it, whatever. But I truly believe that I earned every last one of them, and I'd be different if I didn't get them.
we have met people we can tell didn't nobody beat their ass. You like, I can tell your mama didn't beat
you
your
need
ass.
your ass whooped.
And somebody should have did it because you ain't, you not right.
Not right at all. You need that ass whooped.
I can tell you didn't get it.
And some of them I be looking like, and I'll be the person to give it to you too.
This you used to be sitting there, you be like,
badass.
I just be sitting there like, so did nobody
whoop your ass?
Interesting.
So you just been on timeout this whole time?
Didn't work.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think whoopings should just be an automatic thing that you give.
No, it's a last resort when everything else didn't work.
I think it's a last resort, and also depends on the severity of the action.
Situation. Yeah.
Now some of the shit, don't get me, like, it deserved the fucking whooping.
Because the licking all the icing off that cake when you had company
First
was crazy.
First of all, I ain't even tell that story on here. And we ain't about to sit here and tell this story. Because y'all don't need to know that I licked all the icing off a cake. Yes, I did do that.
With company. That was wild.
It was a New Year's Eve party. And I was the one that woke up for whatever reason in the middle of the night while everybody was sleeping. All my cousins and my mama. And I walked past this cake. And I was a fat little girl, just like I'm a fat adult. And I brought my favorite cake was a it's called a chocolate cake.
It ain't a chocolate cake.
It is a chocolate cake.
It is a yellow cake.
It is a chocolate cake. It's a chocolate cake.
Ain't no goddamn
it's
chocolate
cake.
It's
a goddamn chocolate cake.
It is a yellow cake.
It is a yellow cake with chocolate frosting, a.k.a. chocolate cake.
That ain't no goddamn
It's
chocolate
a goddamn
cake.
chocolate
cake.
The
cake itself has to be chocolate for it to be a chocolate cake.
Nope. That is a fudge cake.
That ain't no goddamn fudge cake. On my nerves. It's a chocolate cake. Sick of your shit.
That was a chocolate cake. And it was my favorite. I don't care if it was from a box. I loved it when my mama made it. So, boom. Now, I wake up in the middle of the night. And I see this chocolate cake.
Yellow cake.
Sitting on this glass display.
Do people not do that no more?
I don't think so, but they need to.
I think they the only person I know still doing that.
Every house in the 90s had a glass cake
so
display.
Nice too.
And I'm telling you, I feel like God just shined a light on that damn. It was the only thing glowing in this dark ass kitchen. Why I'm in the kitchen? Don't know. But I saw this cake. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just take a little bit of the frosting. That'll be enough. So I just go straight across the bottom of the plate, grab a little bit, and I said, ooh, that was good. Before I knew it, I stood at that cake and used my finger and licked every bit of frosting off that fucking cake.
Why don't you just eat the fucking cake?
You are talking to somebody that definitely wasn't even 10.
I just would have ate.
Because we moved out of there when I was 8. So this had to be like 6, 5.
I just would have ate the damn cake.
I didn't give a fuck about the actual cake. I wanted frosting. So the thing that makes this a chocolate cake.
The icing, because it's not a chocolate cake. It's a yellow cake.
Anyway, yes, I did lick all of that frosting off the cake. And then I went my ass back to sleep like nothing ever happened.
Mouth.
No, I got all that. But I did take my ass to sleep like nothing ever happened. And I woke up the next day like nothing even happened. Everybody's like, what the fuck happened with it? Beats me. I don't know what the fuck. I was asleep just like y'all was.
Y'all seen me?
Sleep. Yeah, I'm sure my mama knew.
She knew. She knows.
She not stupid.
She said, I know this damn little girl.
She like, there ain't nobody but my fucking child.
That
ain't nobody but my fucking child. She know damn well she shouldn't have did that.
What she do?
She ain't do nothing. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody said anything to me about it.
Because they all had, they said.
Look, I'm sure they all knew that I ate the goddamn chocolate off the cake. As long as they didn't embarrass me by saying something.
Because that is so extreme. They like, we got to get this girl some help. Because this is out of control. Like,
always had a problem with sugar. Like, it is a serious, serious addiction. And I don't care what nobody say. Sugar is an addiction. They really should offer rehab for it. And I don't think they did. I actually looked, when I was looking for a therapist, I looked for a therapy office that actually acknowledged binge eating as an eating disorder.
Who said it what?
It is one.
It was
But
like,
if you look at a lot of offices,
yeah.
they don't like that specializes in eating
And they'll
disorders.
just, like,
They never
anorexia,
mention binge
bulimia,
eating.
yeah.
So that's how I ended up with the therapist that I have, is because I wanted somebody that could actually help me with binge eating.
'Cause that's hard.
Oh my God, it's
It's
so hard.
emotional.
It's so hard. It's so hard not to binge eat. I'm telling you. But yeah, anyway, we gotta go. This was a nice little hangout. We had us a nice little hearty whore. And didn't even have not a single
It's raining.
topic laid out. This was literally, this whole conversation was just off the dome. Like, we just talking.
Well, normally it is off the dome besides a Reddit. Other than that.
Exactly. We haven't done a Reddit in a few weeks. But
we've been all right.
Yeah. I want the conversation to feel more organic and like I said, like friends talking. Y'all supposed to be joining in with us. So here's something else I want to know. Let me know, when was the last time you felt like you needed a good cry? What did you do? What do you do when you just need a good cry for whatever reason?
Do y'all watch a movie?
Do you watch a movie? What type of movie? What's your favorite movie to cry to when you just need a good release?
Or do you just think of something?
Yeah. Because I go to gospel. Jade will go to gospel or a movie.
Yep. I do either one. Depends on what type of cry I'm looking for, if that makes sense.
See, I'm never looking for a sad one.
Sometimes I do want to, but I'm a Gemini, we're nuts. Sometimes I do want to feel a little sting, a little burn. Sometimes I want a sad cry.
That sounds insane. Okay, Jade. All right. Yeah, let us know in the comments. When was the last time you just was like, I just need a good cry? So I'm going to, do whatever your routine is to get your good cry, and then you're going to move on with your life. Let us know in the comments. But with that, can't forget about the CTAs. Make sure that you're doing all the things on the YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and
share.
And on the audio platforms, make sure that you like, comment, share, rate,
review.
Rate and review. Comment. Both audio and YouTube. That helps us out tremendously. You really don't know how much that actually does help the video get pushed out, because we want more people to join our circle. So definitely make sure, if you could, we would really appreciate it if you could share the episode with somebody that you think might like it, even if it's just some of our clips. We're trying to get a girl's perspective in front of as many people as possible. If you could help us achieve that goal, that would be great.
Please and thank you.
With that, not sure when, but in the near future, we have something big that we're going to share with you guys.
Big news.
So just be waiting for that. We will let you guys know what it is. And also, don't talk about my nails. They broke today. So, boo. They will be like this in the next 2 episodes. So, with that, we will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.
Bye, friends.